Hello and welcome to OP Digital Blueprint. We've got obviously myself and Collins and our very good guest today, Red Redfern. Thank you for joining us, Red. And hi, Collins. What we're going to have a chat about today is something a little bit new. So I'm going to, So I'm going to move the floor across to Red and let Red have a little chat. Let us know what's happening.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Collins and Andy. Good to be here as always on OP Digital Blueprint. Fantastic work what you guys are continually doing for all of us in OnPassive. You really are bringing a whole new dynamic as far as information and behind the scenes, especially you, Collins, with your tech knowledge of products as well and what goes into actually making them. What I want to cover and touch on today is the two latest pieces of news that we have got at the moment, and that is what came out on Monday to do with the ICANN Summit that's been held at the moment in Paris. We are there as a business. It is not an exhibition. It is a summit where all accredited businesses with ICANN join, and they basically discuss all types of things to do with ICANN and how they can help within the development of the policies that they are integrating at the moment. So before we go into that, let's just tell you a little bit about ICANN and what really is their mission statement. And it is to coordinate policy development related to the internet system of unique identifiers. Now, what is a unique identifier? I can hear you all screaming at me. Now, Collins knows this. It is basically what device you are in. It is your IP address. This is your unique identifier. Every single device that connects to the internet has a unique identifier. It's basically where we can find out who and what is being used on the internet. And ICANN was put in place around about 92 to help police really what was going on the internet. It was to bring everything underneath one umbrella so that we have a record of all of those devices that are using the internet right now. He also goes on to say that we employ an open and transparent policy development mechanism that's promote well-informed decisions based on expert advice in a collaboration with entities most affected by policy development. Now, why is this important to OnPassive, and why are OnPassive there at this summit? And I will pass this over to the floor, but let me give you my take on it of why it is important that we as a company OnPassive are associated with ICANN. Number one, in my opinion, is because of the verification processes that we are going to make sure that we identify every single individual that is within our business through that process. It is also important that we have a mechanism in place that we're not only identifying the individual, but we're also identifying that device that people are using as well. Why? Because the tracking, we have OTRACKER obviously, relies on this unique identifier. It is one of the means of where we get that information from. It tells you the countries, it tells you what browser they're using, it tells you how long they've been surfing and what pages, etc. Without that unique identifier, then we won't have that information. Being accredited to ICANN really is a good feather in our company's hat. It gives us a lot of credibility, and we are there at this summit to rub shoulders, not only with other businesses that are accredited to ICANN, but also to talk to ICANN of how we can collaborate with that company with the products and services that we have got at the moment, but also that we have in development. This is how we build big businesses. This is how we make partnerships and collaborations by going to these summits. And that's why I thought it was a really, really good news to bring to all of us that we are at this summit. I'll hand it back to you now, Andy, before we go on to the second topic.
Thanks, Red. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I mean, as you know, I'm not particularly technically minded, but just looking at ICANN, it currently manages over 180 million domain names and 4 billion network addresses across 240 countries. Now, I'm sure Collins can explain a little bit more about what ICANN is and what it does and you know, how it's linked. But I thought that was quite interesting. You know, 4 billion IP addresses. That's pretty cool. Collins, over to you.
Yeah, I just want to agree with Red. You know, all what Red have said is really true. Because if you look at it very well, if you don't have a unique identifier, there is no way you can have access to the internet. You know, the IP address is very important, and sometimes we talk about IPv6, IPv4. You know, IPv4 is already done and dusted because it's already maxed out. Now they're moving to IPv6 to create more space. You know, with internet protocol, it's a massive deal, and ICANN is there to provide us all of these things. Because just imagine when people said, oh, when you're talking about the billions upon billions of IP address, somebody who said, how comes there's billions of IP addresses, 26 or 100 billion? They say, no, but we have just maybe we're talking about 5 billion or 6 billion people. How comes there's hundreds of billions of IP address? It is because one household can have how many devices? Every device now has an IP address. Even printer, you have the printer at home has an IP address where they can ping it. Sometimes you have 4 or 5 mobile phones, and sometimes the mobile phones break down. You need to get another mobile phone with a new IP address. Your internet provider has an IP address. If it's an open source, sometimes when you shut down your internet and you restart it again, it generates what? New IP address. The old one is done. So they give you a new IP address just because they want to protect you, like Red said. It's about protection to make sure people cannot connect into your IP, you know, get into your internet space, because the moment they get into your internet space, they can get all your ID, all information that you have. They can get it. So ICANN is just giving you that maximum protection because everything now is online. And the IP address gives you access. Domain name is a web address. So, for instance, if you don't have a domain name as a business, nobody can locate you. And the location comes with your IP address where people can search and say, all right, this is what you are selling. It's coming from this country, here, here, here. So it helps to, you know, for people to really look at things online, because businesses are going now online. Internet space is more of IP addresses. You know, the internet space is just full of IP address. No IP address, there is no internet. So it is really massive, and ICANN is a big deal, you know, big deal, because that's where every company goes. As Red said, it's a non-profit organization. It's just there to help, you know, because not every time you create something to make money. But now it's a good thing that OnPassive is going there, not as a partner, but to, you know, as a business owner, again, to get more information on what they are doing, you know, because now we are accredited to them, you know, with ICANN. So what happens? We need to be with them to get more information, because the more information we get in, it helps OnPassive to enhance all the products that they are doing to make sure there is maximum protection, there is this, there is that. So because if you are not keeping yourself up to date, you lost a lot of information. So it's always good to be closer to your provider, to the person you are certified with, which is really, really good. Honestly, it's massive.
Excellent. Thanks, Collins. It's clarified a few points for me, and every time you guys chat, I learn a little bit more, which is interesting. But for those of you like me, OnPassive in effect will have exactly the same as GoDaddy. So we are able to then offer domain names to everybody, exactly the same as GoDaddy is. Now think about this from a business perspective, guys. As an individual, I'm going to have my own website, and OnPassive is going to drive traffic to that website. But it means that me being an affiliate and part of OnPassive is able to then offer the same services as GoDaddy. Now that's quite considerable. And you know, future-wise, this means that we have over 1 million affiliates. You've got 1 million GoDaddies already. I think the word I'm looking for is wow. So, okay, well, back to you, Red. I know there was something else that you wanted to cover.
Yeah, actually, what you're talking about right now brings us nicely into it, isn't it? And that was the news yesterday of odomain.com. And I wanted to bring this to the table, and let's discuss it and mull it over and put our 2 penneth worth towards it of what we think is going to happen. And don't forget, guys, this is not anything from corporate, by the way. This is just our opinions of the whys, etc. So yesterday came to light that there is a web page out there called odomain.com. And if you click on odomain.com, it brings up a page that says great things coming soon, upcoming developments and exciting big changes are coming to the internet. Now, this is an official web page from OnPassive. If you look at the top of the browser, it will have an AI and MLM software development service company, OnPassive, in the header title of it. Plus that, the links for the social media sites at the bottom of the page are also all linked to the official sites of OnPassive. So what does this mean in real terms for us? Where, you know, why are they putting this out as a separate website with its own domain name, etc., for doing domains? Now, my gut feeling and opinion on this is that it's going to be an internal used product for all the affiliates within your ecosystem, where you can resell ODomain to other people through your affiliate links and all the rest of it. We know that side of things is going to happen because we've been told this. But I also do believe that, like GoDaddy has its own separate web page for external people, odomain.com will be that as well for the company, so that if anybody wants to get a domain name, they can go directly to Odomain, click on it, and then they can make their own domain name through that website portal. That is my guess for it. Whether there's going to be affiliate type of things through that website as well, I don't know. My gut feeling is no, it won't be. From the affiliate side of things, it will be through our links through the ecosystem that we will have access to, and we will be reselling through that way. odomain.com, in my opinion, is going to be a completely standalone business for the company to generate revenue for the company. But what does that mean? Any revenue that is generated externally from the affiliates for the company is going back into the pot, and it will be then divvied out to those in bonuses, etc., or whatever it may be. That is my opinion. Now, why is this really good news for all of us right now? Number one, it means that action is being taken publicly for Odomain. They are setting their stall out by saying publicly it's coming shortly. Now, we've heard from Ashmi Farah on many, many occasions, and he has said to us, we will only start telling you or anybody anything when it's very close to happening. He's told us this time and time again, that he's learnt by his mistakes, that telling people too far in advance is not productive and all the rest of it. The company putting this out publicly with its own website, with its own domain name for odomain.com means, in my opinion, that we are very close for that start of the domains actually happening. It's my thought process. I might be completely wrong, but from what he said behind the scenes, from what he's told us, etc., I really do believe that they would not be putting it out as to the public right now if it wasn't coming pretty soon. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, I think that's a logical step, Red. You know, whether you want to get guys to have to register on onto the ecosystem in order to get a website probably doesn't make sense at this stage. I think again, logic dictates that it's easier if you have that capability to go direct, like you would with GoDaddy. So, Collins, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, you know, I agree with Red, because I remember one of the corporate webinar, Ash made a statement. He said, not every product we will have it in our ecosystem. Some will be standalone product where customer can come and they can just get it directly. He said, but they will make that decision corporate, in a corporate level. And Red said, he said, this is his opinion. It's our opinion. You know, we're just looking at things, and we can have a chat about it, but the corporate also have their way of doing things, because they always do what is best for the business for OnPassive. But when we look at it, there was a topic Ash gave us when we started the OTech Pro meeting. Ash gave us a topic. He said, what does it mean to have a domain name and then you become a domain registrar? So we look at it, we were just crashing our head. What does it really mean? That you are a domain, you own your own domain, and then you become a domain registrar. Means now all of us, 1.4 million people, because we were just like really confused. We said, Hotel Madi, this is really confusing. We didn't really get it clear. But when Ash came out clear, explained it, I was like, this is really massive, like what Andy already said. You have a domain name. You own a business. Mr. Ashford build a business, give you a domain name. Without the domain, nobody can see you on the internet. So next time we always said, Mr. Ashford and the family own OnPassive. But you own you. Red owns Red. I own myself. And then now, within ourselves, our own business, we are able to provide domain, like Andy said, you become a mini GoDaddy. So now you become that, you know, a provider of domains. Just imagine millions of people coming to your site for you to provide them with domain name. So they get domain like GoDaddy. So it means this is the place where I said, Ash Mofara was just like this is madness, because every product they build, you know, they provide product for us, or they build product to sustain the founder. So we own it and we use it. What happened? That product becomes something that we can sell and make commission. You know, what we do, we paid for OCONNECT, right? We are using OCONNECT. The same time, because we are affiliate, the company, the business is selling OCONNECT on our behalf, and we are making commission. So everything we touch, we can use it and we can make commission out of it. Same like domain. We own a domain. We have your own domain name. When they build our business, we have our own domain name. Now, domain now is a product within our marketplace we can own and start to provide it to others, to as many people who think like OnPassive has the best domain, they want to come. You become a GoDaddy. So that is really crazy. I just wanted to say, Andy.
Yeah, I think you've also got to take into consideration here, guys, that your own domain name becomes your own real estate, and therefore that real estate has a value to it. So if you've got a position, they set up a website for us, you choose that domain, that becomes your property and your real estate, and that, as the business builds, also creates a value. And not a lot of people seem to understand that. So, you know, this is the win-win scenario, really. So what would you like to add then, Red? I'm sure you've got something else in your...
I always like to add something as far as OnPassive is concerned. I think if we look at where we are at the moment within OnPassive, we're still having the extensions for OCONNECT, which is fantastic. We're getting to use the products whilst the company are beavering away in the background, getting their end sorted. I personally don't think that we have got much longer to wait at all before things start happening. I really do get the vibe and feel that there is a lot happening at the moment, rippling underneath the surface. You know, with the O domain come in, we saw that with them saying that we're over in Paris with ICANN. The very good blogs that OMedia are pushing out at the moment, really pointing the direction of what kind of things they are looking at and things that are happening. I think that we will get some news this week from our CEO of where we're at. Obviously, giving timelines is such a tentative thing to do at the moment, because when you have third parties or things out of your control, it's very hard to factor it in. But I do know one thing, and that is when you start looking at OnPassive as your very own business, when you really start delving into the possibilities of what is available to us through the company, it really starts frying your brain a little bit, because your mind starts wandering off in all directions. Now, I mean, Andy and Collins have just touched on a little bit of domain names and that expanding. You're selling it, getting millions in. You know, we're talking about one product there. Then, of course, you've got OCONNECT. That's another product. Then you've got OTRACKER. That's another product. We've got OStraff. We know about that. We got OPAL. We got so many different products. And what's going to happen is that there's literally is going to be the scenario, because OnPassive gives us a domain name, they build our websites, and as long as we own the products, they will put the links of all of our products into our own website, so that when people come to our website, that we will be able to market ourselves. The company are going to market it for us, because we can buy traffic to market our website to wherever you want it to go. You will find that commissions just from the sales alone is starting going to go cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And when you really start thinking about the possibilities of where this is going, it is a very, very exciting business to be part of. And the best of all of this is, many of us have taken the journey from the beginning. It is a unique position, in my opinion, to see how this business has been built from the start to where it is going to be. No other business I know, especially on the internet, let alone physical ones, have had so many people take that peek behind the curtains to know what it was like to go through the trials and tribulations with the business, as we all have, to come out the other side with this mega giant of a company that we are an integral part of. And really, without us, this business would not, in my opinion, be here now. It needed the founders in the early days to get things going. It needs the affiliates now to start that ball rolling. We are integral to the success of the business. In the future, it's going to be customers, customers, customers. Of course it is. But to get that ball rolling, we have been in a very privileged position, and one I truly believe that the company will reward all of us handsomely for. Back to you.
This is a business. I'm going to go over this again, and I know I keep going over it, but I think this is something that we don't really kind of grasp just yet. We're talking about the numbers of customers that are likely to come on board for one product, OCONNECT. One product. Now, Red's mentioned several others, but we know there's probably 50 plus in the background. One product, and if that product costs for argument's sake, again, guesstimate $50 a month, and you get 25% of that, that's $12.50 a month. Okay, 100 clients, that's $12.50 a month. What have you done? Nothing. You know, how far do you want to go? That's one product. Let's say you have 1,000 customers and they've bought OCONNECT. That's $12,500 a month. But now we've got OPAL, and we've got OCREATE, and we've got OTRACKER, and half of those 1,000 customers have their own website because they bought an O domain from us. So we get an annual from the O domain, and now we get money from the OTRACKER. But it's now doubled the money, really, because in effect you've got 1,000 people using OTRACKER. So you know, you could have 100 customers and have all 100 of those customers having 50 products and all paying a commission. It's massive, and we still don't seem to get it. Anyway, Collins, what are your thoughts?
Yes, so when Andy was talking, I was thinking about the market cap, you know, for most of the products that we know that are coming. They are billions upon billions of dollars. You know, domain, I look at domain worth more than $1 billion. No, we're talking about that's one product. No, you look at market cap of OCONNECT, it's almost, they're talking about $200 to $300 billion. You know, that's for video conferencing platform. We've forgotten about Academy, you know, online study application worth 250 to 700 billion. And they said in 2027, it will worth trillions of dollars because a lot of people are studying online. So just imagine that OnPassive takes only 10% of all the products. We're talking about 50 plus products, each product 10%. Just guess where we'll stand. You know, the amount is just crazy. So we're not talking taking 50%, just 10% of $1 trillion, 10% of $1 billion, 10% here, 15 billion, just only 10%. And we know they will take more, but we're talking about just 10%. That's crazy. So I believe we are really in a better place when it comes to a company like this. You know, a company that is an IT, a global AI IT company. I always call it a software development company. You cannot get it wrong when it comes to software development. Most of the companies out there, they are making hundreds of millions. You know, small company are making hundreds of billions, but we are talking OnPassive as a global AI IT company. I always go further to say it's a software development. For those who know what is software development, it means they build from scratch and provide it to the users. They can build whatever you want. If you think about it, they can build it. The only thing is it usable? How much would they make if they build it? If you said you want to build a machine that will make Andy to fly alone, an IT development company can develop that program. But ask yourself, the question they will ask, how much will be the return of investment? If nothing will come out of it, they will not do it. It's not because they cannot do it. But when we look at OnPassive, Mr. I said, not everything will make money out of it. Some of them, it's just to help people, because the heart of OnPassive is about humanitarians. Because many products, if Mr. Ashmufara wanted, OTRIM is there. They would have put OTRIM in the market and start to make money. That's a baby application, 15 billion US dollars market cap. I said, take it for free. OTRIM alone, with more functions, more than Bitly. But I said, we don't need to sell anything. You know, look at OMail. Ash would have just come and say, you know what, let's take this side, make it a comprehensive, an enterprise edition of OMail. Let's sell it, put it in the market. We are making, like, we'll be making money. It's good to make money. Anything you put out there, as long as IT, they will buy it. But I said, not everything. Now OCONNECT comes out, and more and more. OPAL would generate a lot. It will blow the continent. A lot of people are looking for a cheap way to call. You know, what would they go? OPAL. because I will use OPAL myself to call maybe my family everywhere, friends somewhere else. Remember, we're talking about when people used to think, they said, oh, Facebook. When WhatsApp, people think WhatsApp is free. It's not free. When WhatsApp shut down, they had that shutdown, that blackout with 24 hours. But Telegram made how much? More than $2 billion US, 2 days. Because everybody was just looking for a way. We never asked, what is the security posture? What is this? Everybody jumped straight to Telegram. And Telegram had big customers, lot of customer base. People were just looking, how do I get in touch with my family? How do I get in touch? Oh, go to Telegram. Give me the link. Just sign up and start to call. That's what people want to do. I don't even know who is the owner of Telegram. I just want to communicate. That is the thing. And OnPassive is here to do all of this, provide all of this for us. And you're making so much money out there. So OnPassive, I'm just saying, like, we are really in a good place. There is no better place to be except here now. I'll leave it there.
Red, there's a question here from Vivine. It says, is it critical to name or have an appropriate name for your own domain, or doesn't it matter because we're getting it on passive traffic?
It all depends, in my opinion, of what you are trying to achieve. Now, for instance, I know that Marty, who's on there, hi Marty, how you doing, by the way, has got, or he's got his own domain for coolzone.ai. I've set my own one up called Red Tech because, but I'm also going to have me, Red Redfern. That is going to be my domain name. Because I've got different accounts, then I can specify and be specific in those accounts of where and what I'm trying to achieve. So what do I mean by this? It means that I can be, the traffic that I be sending to those accounts, I can be very specific to be a place for websites or domain names or something like that. And I can send all the marketing and everything I can do for that. And that's going to really what I'm going to concentrate that on. If you are just wanting as many slices of the cake as possible, then market yourself. Okay, that is my personal opinion. People generally like people. They don't like figures, names, or whatever. They generally like to do business with people. You only have to do business yourself. When you pick up a phone, you like to speak to someone. When you go in a shop, you like to speak to somebody. When you are buying, my wife does stuff online with clothes and secondhand clothes and stuff like that. She deals with people all the time. People like that. So in my opinion, marketing yourself is a big, big plus. We're all individual. We're all very, very different. And that is your niche. That is what is going to be attracted to for people to come to you because of you, who you are. I'm sure there will be a bio page where you can write a little bit about yourself and all that sort of stuff. And I really do believe that that will aid and help many of us if you are marketing yourself. If you haven't got a specific plan for a name, if you've got a plan for the name and what you're going to try and achieve with it, completely different kettle of fish. But if you are very unsure and not quite knowing, have your name and use that as your domain. Andy, back to you. I've got one more thing actually in a minute.
Go for it. Go for it, Red.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say on the back of what you guys were saying about unlimited amount of money coming in because of all the rest of it. Now, it's always been my opinion, and I mean always been my opinion with OnPassive, that when we get going, I would say 50 to 60% of all of the people that purchase anything, right, in OnPassive won't care about the money side of things. That's my opinion. They just want it because it makes their life easier. Whether they're a business, whether they're an individual, they want it because it's better value than something else. It works better than something else. And it's just easier for them. They can log into one place. They can have so many different things. They haven't got to worry about this. All comes out, da-di-da. Not a problem. That's my opinion. Now then, if you make that 100% and then 40% or even 50% of those go, what, you can make money out of it as well. And you go, yeah, you can. Well, how do I do that? It's easy. See that thing that says affiliate link at the top there? Click on that and have a little read. And they read it and go, so I've already bought it, so I don't have to do anything else. But if somebody in my family wants this as well and they buy it off me, I can make 100% off my first sale and I don't have to pay anything. And then if I sell it again, I can make 25%. Yep. What do you think's going to happen? Now, we were talking about how things are going to start exploding. When people catch on to just that part, that's when you're going to see things start exploding, because that really is when things go boom. Because I know it's hard to believe, but the majority of people out there haven't even heard of OnPassive. I know. Can't believe it, can you? Can't believe it. But absolutely true as I stand here now, they haven't heard of it. And this is what's going to happen. You know, when it starts getting out there, look, all our friends and all our families know about OnPassive because they've seen us through this journey of the last however long it is. We talk about it 24/7. We live and we breathe OnPassive, and they know about the company. Walk down a high street, okay? Go to a bar. How many people are in that bar? And how many of those people know about OnPassive? None. That's how many. None. When we had our Manchester event last year, we had a really good guesstimate, didn't we, of how many founders in those days we thought there was in the UK. We thought there might have been 15, 16,000. That's all in the UK out of a population of 64 million. So now I'm telling you again, nobody knows about OnPassive. So when they start knowing about OnPassive, that is when things are going to go completely crazy and ballistic. And believe you me, it only needs for a very small niche market to get hold of this. Like Andy said, when Facebook when WhatsApp went down, sorry, when Collins said when WhatsApp went down, people were like, oh my God, how am I going to contact somebody? And they all flocked to the one thing they kept hearing people say, oh, go to Telegram, use that. That'll do it for you. What happens if something like that happened and they go, use OPal, buy OCONNECT, buy OnPassive, use that, that'll do. And it'll just go completely kaboom. And the beauty is, once they have signed up for anything, whether it be free, whether it be paid, they are part of the ecosystem of somebody, whether it be the ecosystem of OnPassive.com or an individual. That means that from that moment on, the company are going to market all of the other bits and pieces in their arsenal to these people. Drip feed, drip feed, drip feed, all of the time. They might not want any of it at the beginning, but in a year's time, there might be a new product. They go, oh, I really like that. I use that already. Click 14-day free trial. Oh, I love this. Go and buy it. So whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a year's time, they're still part of your organization and you are going to get paid on it. Like I said, fries your brain when you start talking about it. Back to you.
It certainly does. And when you add the various components, now I know Ash's plan, if you like, is to be able to have the entire system under one umbrella. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, that is everything from hosting, because we have our data centers, to the products themselves, and eventually potentially things like banking system, and possibly even something like cryptocurrency. There are lots of things that could go inside this this entire ecosystem. But I wanted to cover the data centers just briefly because, again, people really don't get this, and many didn't hear Ash explain the differentials. There are, I think there's 4 main companies. So Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Google, and I think it's All-Star, is it, Collins? Nod your head. I think it's All-Star. So those are the guys that monopolize the system. And we know that Amazon Web Services keep just putting their prices up. So there is a famous and huge shopping system in the US, and they are charged somewhere in the region of 30 million a year to host their data. Now, it was made clear to us that we could charge 5 odd million a year and still make 2.5 million profit from that company. Now, if you're that company, you'd be going 30 million, 5 million. This is a no-brainer. I'm moving. Yeah, and so will everybody else when they get to understand the differential between the two. And as Ash has made very clear, this is value for money. This is not, we want to take and rape your profits off you. We want to make it value for money. So again, once you've got this system where people start to hear, and as Red said, there's an awful lot of people that still haven't heard of OnPassive, and the UK is a really good example of that, Red, because like you say, you can go anywhere and you go, have you heard about OnPassive? They go, what? No. But Dubai is obviously, everybody's heard about it because it is everywhere. So this is going to start to do exactly the same thing. And once we see this mushroom cloud just go up, the whole system is just going to go nuts. So Collins, what about you? What are your final comments on today's details, and what would you like to add?
Yeah, so what I would like to say, Red put it again very nicely. And, OnPassive is here as a friend. It's not to put business away. It's just like they are building a platform where all the business can strive if you want to come into OnPassive. Because nowadays, technology is really expensive. Those who are the provider of technologies, they really charge a lot. And it's not cheap because most of the technologies, they are being supported by third party. And imagine when third party is incorporated in a business, what happened? They charge the business a lot, and who pay the price is the final consumer, because you don't expect OnPassive. So say if OnPassive was using a lot of third party to support OnPassive to build the technology we have, who will be the one to suffer? Because Mr. Ash would also come and say, oh, take it for this price. No, they will put it at a particular price where they know they can still sustain the business. So the final effect will go to the consumer. But now look at it. Everything is being done in-house in OnPassive. Ms. Ashmufai is trying as much as possible to get everything done in-house so they can determine the price. The reason why they are doing that is because they want to support businesses. That's the goal, end goal of OnPassive, to make sure they provide high-value products for affordable price, where every business, no matter the business you are running, say you're running maybe a sole proprietor, single business, and you're trying to have some of this application. Maybe you say, all right, you want a payment processor. Say OnPassive has payment processor and can give you half the price of the payment processor you are using. You will dive into OnPassive because at the end of the day, you want to save money. What do you want to build a website to promote your business? You dive into OnPassive. OnPassive gives you the ability for you to have your own website, do things for you. Like Ray said, you don't only come in, but there is a way you can still make money if you click that button. Business will look at it and say, my goodness, I am using this, OCONNECT, and I can still make money. Why not click that button so I can they can do it for me, pay once, and I can start to make money without paying anything. I will tell all my fellow family members and other business, oh, this is where you're going. Look at it. Look at how much Zoom is charging. Maybe they're using a lot of third party to build this application. So they bring all the cost now to the final consumer. OnPassive is coming now to take that burden away. Say, you know what? I'm doing it myself, and that is why it's taking time. So when people always say, oh, why OnPassive is taking time, is because they are doing everything in-house. They want to make sure we don't bear the cost of anything. We just come and use it. It can be an affiliate, it's sustainable. Can be a large corporation, small corporation, medium. You know, everybody has a place in OnPassive because it is affordable and it's of high value. And what? You don't have to do anything. The cost is on OnPassive because they build everything within the company. So that's the beauty of OnPassive, where a lot of companies will save money. Companies that are not even, like Ray said, they are not coming to make any money. They will instead save money. And when they save money, what happens with their employees? They give them better pay rates because they are making some money from OnPassive to give their employees save rates. So OnPassive is for everybody. And it is here to sustain, as Maddie always said, a life support for other businesses. OnPassive is not here to kick you out of business. No, please, when you see OnPassive come in, don't be afraid, because sometimes people say, oh my goodness, we'll go out of. No. It is here. Just take a look and you can be even, you can even benefit from OnPassive more than if you stay out of OnPassive. So that's what I wanted to add in.
Thanks, Collins. Red, any final comments before we close?
We can't hear you, Andy.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I think it's your connection, mate. Oh, okay. But I can hear you, if that makes sense. Not very well.
Okay. So, yes, Red, any final comments you'd like to make then before we close today?
Yeah, only if you are watching this and you're not in OnPassive, on the screen here, you'll see a couple of QR codes. Give them a little scan and that will pop up a window and you can get all the information on how to join this amazing company and maybe start a better future for all you and your family. Back to you.
Thanks, Red. I want to, Marty made this comment earlier on, but I want to make this clear. So for those guys that are not in OnPassive and those people that are in OnPassive but really don't understand what's going on, this company is going to organise things for you. So what we do is we are going to use the product ourselves. So what we do is we subscribe to this particular product is OCONNECT. It's a video conferencing platform. There are more coming, but that video conferencing platform will have a cost like Zoom does. The difference is it's far better value for money. It's far superior to what's available right now. But that then on top of signing or becoming an affiliate allows us to then, or the company to then sell it on your behalf. So you then enter a rotator and people get added to your customer base. Now you can add to it as well by introducing it to others if you wanted to, but it's not an absolute necessity. And as Red quite rightly pointed out, just wait and see what's going to happen when it just goes viral. There are ways and means of getting into it. If you've spoken to someone about it before, then get them to send you a link. Or, as Red said, we've got QR codes on the top here. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And please, if you want to join us next week, if you have any questions, just add them to the stream. That would be great, and we'll answer them as best we can. Thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for coming.